Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with all of you. First of all, I want to briefly introduce myself. I'm Petra. I'm 55 years old and I'm Italian. So I apologize if my pronunciation isn't perfect. The last 17 years have not been easy for me, especially since 2019. In future videos, I will share more details with you. There came a moment when I realized I couldn't continue that way. I had to do something to improve my life. For this reason, I started researching the power of the mind, and what I discovered was truly mind-blowing. That's why I created this channel, to help you change your life and transform yourself into the best version of you, the version you have always dreamt of. Why in English? Simply because I want to share my discoveries with as many people as possible. This video is the first step of a journey that will lead you toward a better you and a better life. So, stay consistent and positive. Follow all my videos and you'll be surprised by the wonderful changes you'll experience. Now, before we begin, I just want to add one more thing. I may understand if you are skeptical, and for this reason, I invite you not to believe anything I say, not to agree with me, just to listen. I'm not telling you that you'll achieve what you want in one day or 1 week. Every important and lasting change requires time. But I can assure you that in the end you'll be a different and better version of yourself. This series of videos is not about forcing you to believe something. It's about feeling and seeing something that has always been inside you, but that your fears and doubts have prevented you from fully living. In fact, most of us live our lives believing that reality is fixed and external, that we must struggle, push, work hard, and compete to get what we want, that the things happen to us. But what if things really happen for us? And the first step toward abundance is not doing more, but being differently? Well, now let's start the journey. For a long time, humanity believed in a very simple model of the universe. The universe was made of solid objects moving through empty space. The universe, and society too, were characterized by certainty. Everything was predictable, stable. Every effect had its own specific, fixed cause. Change didn't come easily. People had very little control of their lives, as almost everything depended on the external circumstances they lived in. In this view, you were just an observer, trying to predict how life would unfold. So, if something didn't work in your life, it was simply because you weren't lucky enough, or you didn't have the right conditions. Very often, if you were born poor, you died poor, whereas if you were born rich, you died rich. And this was accepted as the natural order of life. Overall abundance in this stable model is fixed, as everything else. So if someone has more, someone else must have less. But slowly, things started to change, and in the early 20th century, something unexpected happened. Quantum physics. quantum physics emerged, revealing a completely new reality. Physicists began to study reality at very small scales, the level of atoms and particles, and what they found changed everything. They discovered that matter is not as solid as it appears. At a fundamental level, reality behaves more like possibility than certainty. As strange as it may appear, particles don't have a fixed position until they are measured. They exist as probabilities. This doesn't mean reality is imaginary. Of course, that doesn't exist. It means it is not fully determined until interaction with the observer happens. And here is the important part. The observer is not completely separate from what is observed. It's part of the process. This doesn't mean that your thoughts magically control the universe, but it does mean that the old idea of total separation between you and reality is incomplete. To fully understand the concept, let's make this very simple with examples from everyday life. Imagine you walk into a room full of people. Before anyone speaks to you, you already feel something. Maybe welcomed, tense, invisible, curious. That feeling changes how you act, how you speak, how you interpret reactions. And suddenly, the room responds differently to you. So, did you create the room? No, of course. Did your presence and perception influence the experience? Absolutely. Have you ever noticed that when you feel confident and happy, everything seems to unfold for the best? More opportunities come into your life, more ideas pop into your mind, and everyone seems more gentle and appreciative toward you. On the other hand, when you feel unsafe, unsure, and sad, the world around you seems to go worse. Your mind closes to new ideas. Opportunities stop appearing. People seem to avoid your company. Setbacks begin to feel impossible to overcome. Undoubtedly, how you feel influences your reality. These are small, everyday examples of something very deep. Interaction matters. Reality is not just out there. It responds to engagement, attention, and interpretation. It responds to our feelings and thoughts. Now, let's bring this back to abundance. Most people think abundance is only something external that can't be changed easily. But if reality is not completely fixed and can be changed more easily than you think, if experience is shaped by interaction, then your inner state becomes relevant, not as magic or luck, but as context. Think about this. Two people can live in the same city, have the same education, and face the same circumstances, yet experience completely different lives. Why? Because they are not responding only to the same external reality, they are responding to their interpretation of it. Your attention highlights certain possibilities and ignores others. Your beliefs filter what feels impossible for someone like you. Your emotional state tells your nervous system whether it's safe to receive or necessary to defend. Abundance, in this sense, is not something you chase, it's something you allow, by changing how you relate to reality. Let's make now a short reflection for a moment. What does it mean that interaction matters? That reality responds to your feelings, your thoughts, your presence. It means that in every single moment, all the possible versions of you exist simultaneously. Every choice you make, every feeling you embrace, sends ripples through these possibilities, shaping which path will unfold. The life you dream of, the life you fear, the life you almost never notice, are all waiting for you, equally real, equally possible. Your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, they are the compass guiding which of these lives becomes your experience. In other words, the power to shape a reality isn't somewhere out there. It's here, inside you, in every thought you think, in every feeling you allow. So now, ask yourself, where in your life do you assume this is just how things are? Where have you stopped questioning, stopped imagining, stopped expecting? This is not your fault. It's conditioning. And conditioning can be gently undone. Well, now it's time to go. But before you go, I really hope you enjoyed the video and you can feel a little different than when you started listening. If you are interested, please subscribe. It's completely free, as you won't miss the next step in this journey and the opportunity to transform your life into something better. And remember, this series is not about forcing reality to obey you. It's about understanding how perception works, recognizing unconscious patterns, learning how to create inner coherence. Because when your inner world becomes clearer, your relationship with reality changes, and the reality starts to respond to that relationship. Till the next lesson, just observe your thoughts, your reactions, your assumptions. Awareness is always the first.